Hi ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn and I discuss femininity, elegance, and strategic advice to help you succeed on your level of journey on this channel. If that content sounds right for you, please consider subscribing for more content like this. And please go ahead and hit the like button if you found this video useful to help spread the message with more like-minded ladies. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hi ladies, so today's video is going to be a bit of a denser video, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the topics really quickly here. The first topic is to find a rare fish, start in the ocean. So I've received a lot of questions over my time online giving advice to friends, etc., over what the perfect app to be on is. And a lot of times people have different preferences along things like, oh, do you want to be on Bumble? Do you want to be on Hinge? Do you want to be on this app or that app? Raya or Luxy, especially when it comes to trying to get a more affluent or high value man. That said, you need to understand that you want to cast the widest net possible so that you can find a rare fish. You want to be in the place where the most people are. And when that comes to the ecosystem of dating apps, most people who use dating apps are on Tinder. So it's really not worth your time to kind of silo yourself into this marketplace where there aren't as many people, because ultimately the same quality of person is going to be on all of these apps. There is no barrier preventing people from getting on most of these apps. A lot of these invite-only apps have people constantly spamming other people invites. You might have been sent an invite that maybe you weren't intended to receive too. So at the end of the day, there's no real gatekeeping who can and cannot get on these apps. What you instead want to focus on is who you're attracting to your profile. And that is really what you want to focus on. So you want to get yourself in front of the most people possible, but then have the people who are drawn towards you, the people who are attracted to you, be the right type of person. So that's what I would advocate you focusing on. So definitely you want to make sure to stay in the app that has the most people, and that is Tinder. I wouldn't waste time diverting your attention or diverting your time to other apps, especially not in the beginning stages. The next thing you want to do is get into your ideal dating condition. So what that means is essentially you want to get your body and your face, your entire physical presentation into your ideal shape. But what I don't mean when I say this is for you to take a long time just kind of sitting on the sidelines and wait for perfection, right? You may not have lost that 15, 20 pounds that you gained over quarantine. You may not be the perfect weight or the perfect, whatever it is that you are kind of, being held back by. You don't want to let perfect be the enemy of the good, however. You want to make sure to go ahead and start taking action soon, so you don't want to be on the sidelines. What that means practically is that if you can make a change in less than 72 hours, that's the kind of change that I would really encourage you to focus on for now. If you need to change your hair color to something that's more appealing, if you need to maybe, get some kind of cosmetic dentistry going, or maybe there's just something in terms of shapewear or the outfits that you're wearing, whatever it is that's going to help you feel more confident, especially on camera, whatever it is that's going to help you feel as though you're looking your best, that's what I recommend that you do, especially things that are very simple, like seeing an esthetician or investing in getting your makeup done before the photo shoot that I'm going to be talking about next. That sort of thing is really what I would encourage you to focus on. But if you are somebody who has a bit of a longer time horizon, you are looking to get the right partner for you maybe over the next 3 years or 5 years, then that's when I would say to focus on longer term goals like weight loss, building muscle. Maybe there's a cosmetic surgery procedure that you are saving up for. That's the sort of time scale for that sort of focus. But for now, I would emphasize you taking action to do what it is that you can do now. And then putting yourself out there instead of waiting. The next thing that you want to focus on is investing in bulletproof, stunning pictures. Now, this is by far the most important thing that you are going to do. You want to actually make sure that when you take your pictures, you're working with a photographer, specifically a photographer who has experience taking faux selfies, right? A photographer who has experience taking pictures on an iPhone or, just like a general phone that you could have in your hand that are going to be really exceptional quality, or taking pictures on a digital camera that look like they are from a cell phone, right? So that is literally a style of photography. It's called the faux selfie. So sometimes like you'll see Instagram models, for example, like either holding their phone up against the mirror, or like they are just, like kind of reaching out in front of them as if they're holding a camera, like as if they're holding a cell phone, like a selfie camera. But in reality, there's a photographer in front of them taking their picture. That is the kind of thing that you want to make sure that you can get the service done for. And essentially, when you have really good, really bulletproof pictures, that's what's really going to be your calling card. It's really the commodity that you're putting up sort of for sale, in a sense, on a dating app. It is a thing that other people are going to trade their time and attention for. So you really want to make sure that your photos are really good and really compelling. Part of what makes a photo really good and really compelling is that your identity in the photo is very, very clear. So you want to make sure that you're not doing anything in a photo that's going to obscure your identity. If you are, for example, wearing sunglasses or a hat or anything that's going to make it difficult to see your face, or for example, you're wearing like very heavy makeup, a lot of eyeliner, a lot of, color cosmetics, lipstick, where it makes people wonder what you look like when you take all of the makeup off. If you have on some sort of really unnatural hair, that's not what you want to do. And any sort of thing where you're wearing a dramatic outfit that has like a lot of like frills and excess layers or anything like that, that again is obscuring what it is that your body looks like. You don't want to do anything like that. You want to make what's going on with you as clear as possible, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are also swiping for confidence. A guy might look at two profiles and see like one girl who is not as attractive as another girl, but one girl kind of looks like she might be fake, she might be photoshopped, she might be somebody who was just pretending to be that girl. Whereas you, on the other hand, you look real. Your eyes, like it's very clear who you are. You can see all of your facial features. Everything looks as if what you see is what you get. It looks as if the person who was in the picture is going to be the person who shows up on the date. The guy is more likely to swipe for the person that he's more confident in. So that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind. When you're taking your pictures, you want to try to go for natural. Right? You want to go for natural, but your best elevated natural self. And you don't want to do anything that's going to hide your identity or make it look as if you look like someone else. Don't do anything like that. And especially no sort of like aggressive Photoshop. You also really want to make sure that you are the only girl standing in the photo. The last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where there are two other girls besides you and somebody has to look at your profile and try to figure out which one you are. Even if it's obvious to you that you don't look like your friends, this other person doesn't know you. They don't know what you look like. They don't know if you're the one standing on the right or the left or in the center. And if you write on your profile like, oh, I'm the one standing on the right, a lot of people just aren't going to read that. They're just going to go ahead and swipe left and move on to the next person who they're sure who that is. You don't want to give people a reason to not swipe right on you. You want as many people as possible to go ahead and select you. Next up, I'm going to be talking here about the perfect profile, right? The perfect profile on really any dating app, but especially on Tinder, it's three things. It's short, it's neutral, and it's positive. So we're going to get into what all three of those things mean. First and foremost, short. You don't want to be writing entire paragraphs, entire novels. Somebody should not need to read 8 paragraphs about you, your life, exactly what you're looking for in order to, get to know something about you. Right, first and foremost, as much as writing the paragraph seems like you're just being very engaging in your profile, it seems like something that is a good thing, especially when you're, like a lady, like a feminine lady. Like you would probably read that paragraph about a guy if he wrote it there. But the reality is that does not work the other way around. A lot of guys are not reading profiles, they're not reading all of these paragraphs. A lot of people in general just don't read things. So you don't want to be in a position where you are like putting all of this information there and then like you're going to get upset every time somebody says that they didn't read it. In addition to that, even if you feel like you're not going to be upset if somebody doesn't read your entire paragraph, when you start writing like you're literally like texting like this entire like novel about yourself to a dating app, it makes you look really desperate. And that is just me trying to like walk in the light of the truth on this issue. I'm not trying to make anybody feel like a bad person or make anybody feel like something controversial has been said. I'm just giving you, like the tough love so that you can really see this for what it is. It makes you look really desperate. You don't want these long paragraphs where you seem like you're trying to earn other people's affection. You should be in a position where you can write just a little something and have that be it. You also don't want to leave the paragraph, the text area, sorry. You also don't want to leave the text area blank because that's going to give you a negative ding against your profile and it's not going to be shown to as many people. So really what you want to do is have a happy middle ground where you're just having a short, simple statement about you. Also, you don't want things to be negative or, something that doesn't quite land with other people, right? You want your profile to be neutral in nature, which means that you don't tell, like odd stories that people aren't going to understand or make weird jokes, and especially not like make any sort of like negative or disparaging comments, even if you feel like it's true. Even if you really feel that way, you don't want to say all of that, right? Like for instance, if you're like, oh, I don't want anybody who is like an offended woke little baby, don't write that in your Tinder bio. No matter how deeply you feel like that is true, do not write that there. If you are somebody who's like, I would never, never date somebody who voted for Donald Trump, again, don't put that there. This really is not the time nor the place. If you are somebody who, just like sticking to the level up genre, you're like, no broke, dusty beta males. Again, not the thing that you want to put in your bio. You don't want anything negative because even if that doesn't apply to somebody, people don't want to be around negative people. They don't want to be around negativity. And they're going to be very sensitive to that. So even if that's not true about somebody, they're likely to see that and just swipe over you because they think that you're a lot to deal with or that you're going to be, like unpleasant to be around. And that's not where you want to be with people. So you don't want to do anything like that. Also, strange jokes. And I know to you it might not seem like it's strange, but to other people it can be a little bit like, oh, I didn't quite understand that. Like I've left some examples up here, but don't say anything about like eating children or like stepping on people or anything like that, because like somebody is just going to glance at that and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like what is this? And they're just going to swipe away from you. So again, like this is not the kind of thing that you want. Now, some examples of like a short, neutral, and positive sort of profile is just like very, very simple. Like, I'm a fun-loving Pisces looking for adventure. Or I'm a Libra, I love to cook, and I'm a huge Marvel fan. Very simple statements about you, right? You'll get the points from having, essentially your bio filled in on the Tinder app, which essentially means that the algorithm will show your profile to more people, but you're going to avoid looking desperate, looking weird, revealing way too much information about yourself on a public platform, and all of that negativity. So you want to keep it short, neutral, and positive, but you also definitely want to fill it in. The next point I want to make here is that you should go for gold. You're busy and expensive. And when I say this, I literally mean that you want to use the premium version of Tinder. You want to use Tinder Gold. I don't know if it's still called Tinder Gold. It's been a while since I've been on any dating app, obviously. It's part of why it is that I made this channel in the first place. That said, when it comes to using these apps, like a lot of people deeply internalize the entire like, oh, like I'm paying for, right? You feel like you're paying for attention or you're paying for affection. You're paying to get more people to like you, but it's really not like that. When it comes to what it is that you're paying for when you sign up for Gold, you're literally paying for an elevated user experience that's going to make this process faster for you. Using Tinder Gold does not mean that you're not attractive. It doesn't mean that you couldn't get any matches. It doesn't mean anything like that. So you really want to like decouple that in your mind and really start using the Gold feature. The Gold feature has a lot of benefits, particularly what you're going to want to use from the Gold feature is that you can see who has swiped on you and liked you, and you can save time, like a lot of time, by just looking at who has already liked you as, an elegant feminine woman who is, beautiful and who has done all of the things that I've mentioned previously. You're going to have a lot of people swiping on you. So you can just open that up and check who's swiped on you recently, and you can select from there who it is that is palatably attractive to you, and you can just go ahead and swipe on them back from there. It'll save you so much time just mindlessly swiping on these apps. You don't want to be in a position where you are selling your time short for, just to save like $10 a month or something like that. You want to make sure that if you're going to use this app, that you don't need to use it for more than 20 minutes in a day. You should be able to just sit on your couch at the end of a long day, have a little glass of wine, and just swipe on the people who have already liked you. You don't want to be in a position where you are spending hours and hours swiping and being like, oh, I hope that this guy like swipes back on me, etc., because that is a waste of your time. You are going to want to make sure that you're using your time in a way that's going to elevate you and help your level up and help you attract a higher quality partner, which means that if you have to choose between swiping on Tinder and being in the gym, you're going to want to choose being in the gym. In the same way, like think of like using a Tinder Gold as if you are ordering your groceries on a delivery app. You're literally just paying for the convenience. You're literally just paying for that elevated user experience to make things easier on you in the long run. Also, I would just like to say that if you are doing all of the things that I'm telling you to do, you shouldn't really need to be on Tinder for longer than a month, maybe 2 months max. And I would definitely recommend that at the end of that period, you just go ahead and delete your profile, right? So this is going to be something that last I checked, the price might have been like $10 a month. I don't know, but you're definitely going to top out at $20 for a much better experience using the app. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you connect before you commit to leaving the house. Ultimately, what you want to do next is that the ones who send a message to you which shows that they have follow through, right? It shows that they're serious about you, so that you should always be letting them message you first. That essentially you want to schedule a video call with this man. And I know that some of you are already feeling like, oh my gosh, I just can't do that. I don't want to be on a video call. I don't want to do this entire Zoom thing, etc., etc. But look, what I'm saying is that you just want to make it a very, very short, very casual conversation before you actually go on a date anywhere. I'm not saying that it needs to be like a 30-minute thing or anything like that. So you have, essentially gotten your message from the guy, you've connected with him, you like him, you think that he could be an interesting prospect. You want to go ahead and try to schedule a time in which he can just have a 5-minute conversation with you via FaceTime or whatever app is available in Tinder, like whatever video app is, whatever video feature is available within the app is what I should say. But yeah, you just want to make sure to schedule a time where you can do that for, like 5 minutes. If you want to have a longer conversation, I would say 10 minutes is good, but you definitely don't want to go past 15 minutes because you want to establish that your time is valuable. Instead of doing something like going out and meeting for drinks, which is something that I definitely don't recommend that you do ever, unless like you're already in a committed relationship and you just want to go out with drinks. But as far as like the first date, I definitely do not ever recommend going out for drinks. During this little virtual call, you just want to make sure that he's somebody that you can spend time with, that you can have a pleasant conversation with. And you might want to also check, for a few points about his life, some topics for conversation about him, like things he does, places he's traveled, things he enjoys, what it is that he's looking for from a dating app, what is it that his vision for his life in the upcoming years is. Just things that you can touch on really quickly, like a little bit of instead of saying things like, tell me about yourself, try to ask very targeted questions and give like a little response about you as well. So at the end of everything he says, share a little something about yourself as well, so that it's more reciprocal that way. Now, you want to remember that your video call is a strategic thing that you are doing. It is not an accident that I'm telling you to make this video call. It is very important for you to be able to name the right price to sort of close the deal. During your conversation, you want to make sure that you're looking your best. But when I say you're looking your best, that doesn't mean that you're dressed, to the nines, that you're wearing, like a ball gown in your house in the middle of the evening. It essentially means that you have a situation in front of you where you can essentially look your best on that camera. What that might mean is investing in a ring light. It might mean setting up a nice background behind yourself. And it's going to mean that you're going to want to position the camera a little bit further back so that you can essentially be seen from the knees up. What it is that does is it allows your full figure to be seen, which helps the guy sort of understand what your body looks like. Not in a sexual way, just in like a unique value proposition kind of way. Most guys are on apps looking for women that they find attractive, right? Men are very visual, so you want to make sure that you're giving that visual value, of course, in a way that is appropriate where you're fully clothed, but you want to make sure that your figure can be seen. So you want to position yourself on camera such that you can be seen from the knees up, essentially. Next up, you want to make sure that your lighting is good and that your lighting is flattering. I really recommend a ring light for this, and you might think that, oh, that's doing so much. But guys are not that, like deep nor complex a lot of times. They take what they're seeing at face value. So if you look really, really good on camera, they're just going to be like, wow, you look really good. They're not going to be like, oh, are you using a ring light? Oh, wow, you put in so much effort just to see me. Like, that is maybe like the fear that you might have, but they're probably not going to think about it like that. They're not going to think about it that much at all. And if they do, they really are going to appreciate it and understand that they need to take their game to the next level when they see you. The guy who really kind of like harps on this point is probably a narcissist, so consider that a red flag. If he's just like, oh, I can't believe you tried so hard, that's not the guy that you want to see. You want to go for the guy who thinks that he was worth the effort, essentially, who thinks like, oh, wow, thank you for looking so nice for me. Not for the guy who's like, oh, like who sees it as like a point of weakness. So as opposed to all of these other girls that he might be messaging on the app, he understands from having this short interaction with you, right? He's felt your energy, he's felt your vibe, you felt his, and you understand if there's chemistry there. And you understand that when you go out and you're spending an extended amount of time with this person, you know that it's going to be a pleasant interaction. He knows that if he takes you out and he spends 2 hours with you, that he's going to have a good time for those 2 hours. And that is all creating a serious amount of leverage for you. So what that means is that in terms of your ask, right, when it comes to the question of what it takes to take you out on a date, you can have a much bigger ask than any other women who are not doing all of these things. We're at the final end of this video, so it's been quite a journey. But if you successfully followed all of these steps, you now have excellent bulletproof pictures of you in your best ideal dating condition that you've posted on Tinder, and a lot of people have seen these pictures. Those who've people who are now interested in you, these high value men, and of course any men who are now interested in you, have reached out to you, they've made contact to you, and you've had the opportunity to vet them by having a short conversation to see who the right guy for you to go out with is. From there, what you need to do, all you need to do at this point is name your price, right? You need to set the bar high for what it is that it takes to go out with you specifically, because you have throughout this process differentiated yourself in value from all of the other women on this app. You have made yourself stunning at every single turn, and now this means that you can decide how much it takes to go out with you. If you're going to go out to a restaurant that has $1,000 bill at the end of it, you are now officially worth it. And you are worth it in a way that you can expect to really see results with that. And that is really going to set the tone for your relationship in a positive way from there. Where instead of, having somebody who you're constantly trying to size them up, you're trying to figure out how much money they make or anything like that, you're now in a position where you can allow men to show you what their money can do. You can have them send the driver to you. You can have them, call you a car to send you to the date. You can have them take you to any restaurant of your choosing, no matter what the price is. You can have them do high-end experiences with you, all because you have made the investment upfront in yourself and your personal branding as far as having an excellent image online. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. And I will just close off by saying that I have met excellent guys on Tinder, guys that you would not think would be on Tinder. Again, they just as like a little bit of information here as a bit of an aside, these guys tend to have hidden profiles, right? Very high net worth individuals are in fact on Tinder. They're not necessarily on Luxy or Raya or anything like that. They are in fact on Tinder, but a lot of times they're swiping from a hidden profile, so you can only see them if they like you in the first place. By following these steps, you're going to have a lot more of these guys swiping on you. I personally promise that this is going to really change things for you, as long as you are working on leveling yourself up, increasing your attractiveness, and then working on the way in which you promote yourself visually on these apps. The algorithm will do the rest of the work in pairing you with the right person for you. I have met doctors, I've met celebrities, I've met people who are, now, on MSNBC. Right? Like, I've met all of these people just on Tinder, and you would never know that they are there unless they want themselves to be known. So I definitely hope that you take all of this advice, that you take action on these things, and you just get started where you are, because that's the best way to improve. My last bit of advice to you is, if you are on any of these apps and you have not seen results in the past 2 months specifically, you just need to go ahead, delete them, deactivate your profile, remove all pictures, and start from absolute scratch. Because the algorithm is going to give you more and more people who are not desirable. So you want to just begin all over again with a new thing entirely, and really try to build yourself up from there, so the algorithm delivers you to more high value men in return. And with that, that's all it is that I have to say today. I hope that you found this video helpful, and please share it with somebody that you think could benefit from this information. Goodbye.